it's very hard to remove an experienced teacher, as you say, later on in their career. And so how do we address that? There are very few incentives for teachers to do well when they're experienced, and also there are, it's too hard to remove bad teachers early enough when they're doing a disservice to students.
What you just said is probably the most common question I get, and I think it's something everyone believes. It just isn't true, and I'll tell you why. Well, no, before you should have an open mind. This is Harvard, after all, you have an open mind. Okay. Any teacher in Boston, myself included, can be dismissed in a period of time of 70 days. Now, 70 days isn't, I don't think it's a lot of time to improve, certainly if you get a bad evaluation. Under the new state law, it'll be anywhere from 30 to 60 days. I don't think that's a lot of time. And a beginning teacher can be dismissed with 5 days' notice. I don't think that's a lot of time. So I understand there's a story that's been told that it's impossible to get rid of experienced teachers or senior teachers, and that teachers will skate because they don't need to worry about that. It's not true. Now, I'm not going to expect you, if you've been fed a steady diet of reading about this, because we all have, honestly. I would just invite you to call me later, or anyone, or have me explain to you exactly how it works. A principal tomorrow in Boston can walk into any classroom. Where was I the other day? I spoke somewhere, oh, it was at BU. And a woman got up and said, I understand in Boston you have to give 5 days notice before you walk into a classroom. It's not in our contract, it's not true, and the state law says, as Linda and everyone can tell you, that you can just walk in, and in fact you must walk in unannounced. So tomorrow in Boston, a principal can walk into any classroom in the city and evaluate a teacher, give that teacher a bad evaluation. The teacher then gets another evaluation anywhere from 30 to 50 days thereafter, and then another one 20 days thereafter. And then that person is on a dismissal track, 30, 20, 20, 70 days. It really isn't an onerous responsibility, and I think if anyone says it's onerous and they're a principal, then they're shirking their own responsibility. Now, I think the changes that the state has made, while I don't agree with them, it definitely will make things a lot easier. And again, I don't think a 30-day window period, if you take someone, and by the way, most teachers and I think most school practitioners will tell you that if someone has been skating their entire life and they've been lazy their entire life, we don't want them. If someone is out every Monday for whatever the reason, because they have a long weekend, we don't want them. And we're not, and I'm not going to defend anyone like that. Don't want to do it, and we don't like to do it in the BTO office. But if someone, which is the norm, slips, loses his or her fastball, just to give a sports analogy, and they've had a good career and they've turned out good students, and they're well intended, but they're going through a divorce. They're in a bad marriage. They have a child who has a heroin addiction. Things that happen. And they're only given 30 days to improve. We don't think that's enough time. We think that person should be counseled somehow, maybe get some time away from the job, etc. But again, 30 or 50 days to me, in the latter case, isn't a big deal. Now, in the former case, where someone is a complete shirker, someone that the kids don't like, someone who doesn't put in a full day's work, the principal has had ample opportunity. If someone like that exists after the first 3 years, he or she should be fired. And the 3 principals who signed off on his or her yearly renewal should be fired as well. And you get no argument from us or me on that one.